Hey guys, this is Daryl Addison at Torpedopot.com. Daryl Addison at Torpedopot.com. We make self-growing planters. You know, this is beautiful. We have our fennel. We have our tea, chamomile. Some more fennel, onions, and chamomile. When our neighbors come, they break pieces off of it to carry it home. This is strictly for my neighbors when they come to taste the difference between what you're getting in the supermarket and what they're getting someplace else. So this is really a teaser before you start walking into our garden. And this is fully automated, okay? It grows all by itself. It doesn't need you to grow it, okay? You have all the tools you need to make your adjustments to cause this to grow on its own. It's been growing on its own, I think, for about, I don't know, 2 months, 2.5 months. Since I set it up, I had one problem with it, and that is, and you can see because normally you shouldn't see death on any of your plants, okay? If you see death, if it's not part of the normal life cycle it goes through, you need to take a look at it. This period right here, this death that you see, and then this planter right here, I was going to cut it off and make it look great for you. But I think you need to know how these planters work. This is when the water, I cut it off. I turned the knob and didn't set it for, in this case, I think for every 2 hours it's watering for 1 minute. It's like dripping out for 1 minute. It's feeding them nutrients and things and allowing the microbial colonies to build every minute, and they enjoy it. But it's been running on its own. I haven't had to do anything at all. But the depth you see is because at that time the water setting was too low and I made a mistake. As you can see, there's no leaking water all over the place because now it cuts on what I wanted. Now, these are on a line with other bigger pots, which you will see, okay? I'm going to show it to you right now. So this is on a line with other major pots. They're on a line with the hanging baskets, and I think there's 5 of those. So they're on the same line together. And on a line with the cabbage, and with the other plants that we have here, Swiss chard, colibari, and 2 big kale, and some lettuce. So it's on a line with all of these, okay? And so all of these are competing with water, and that's why I want you to understand. That's why you have that dowel in the front of your planter, because I get to keep each plant, or get to give each plant exactly what it needs. You don't give it any more, you don't give it any less. Give it what it needs. And that plant will be extremely happy. It will present and give back to you tremendous growth. Tremendous, tremendous growth. And health that you couldn't buy at the drugstore. This planter has the possibility of changing your life. Look what it did to this. I had this sitting in the back of the house for about 1.5 years before I developed my signature series Torpedopots. And that's a lilac. I had no idea what it was doing. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about it. And then about 2.5 months ago, I put it in this torpedo pot. And let me tell you something. I love food, and I want my food in my planters. But this lilac smelled so good, I'm afraid to touch it. It had become so acclimated to the environment, and it is doing really, 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 really well. Really, 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 really well. I am so excited what the torpedo pot can do. And look at the new growth. Now, remember, you're seeing new growth in all these things because our soils are contaminated. And so the soil isn't giving its true robustness a transfer over to the plant itself. And so our plants are getting a nutrient deficient or environmental deficient or poisoning. And so they can't develop correctly. And that's why we have the torpedo pot. It helps your plants develop correctly. Okay? So I want to show you this also since we're here. These are our little small hummers. And of course I have flat parsley. I have our favorite tea, right? And what you guys should know, I've already talked about it. You tell me what it is. And then I have our curled parsley. And these are our 2 pots. One with the mint. And we do all types of mint. And yes, that's chamomile. Thank you for being patient when I tried to explain it that way. And so, again, you can see I had problems with my planters. I had these planters, these small planters right here, on the same line as this lilac and everything else downstream. And I realized I have all these plants connected, and because that line was going so long, it was very hard for it to pump water out for itself. So we put them on their own line, and they have their own watering schedule. I think for every hour they might water for 1 minute, and it's perfect for the mint because they consume a lot of water. Look, you see the water running down by itself, and they're perfectly. I found that perfect mix for these plants. All of them have adjustments on top of them, and you're going to get yours. These are just demos again. Yours comes in smaller pieces, and you can build it up as you like. Okay, so we're trying to build more restrictions into them because we realize that people can get hurt because these grow so much food that we know they're going to push them to the limit. Darryl Addison, Torpedopot.com. Darryl Addison at Torpedopot.com.